And just like that, we're back. Formula One is so back. With the summer break over, it means it is race week once again, and the attention switches to the 12th race of the season, the 7th of the current Euro Summer Series, and it's her last in Formula One for 2026. I'm talking about the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, Netherlands, and it comes with the sprint, the penultimate one for the season out of 6. I said it's our last dance for 2026 because it is the last time we'll be seeing it in Formula One on the calendar until we get to see contracts renewed for it to host races once again. So it's going to be a farewell and a final lap for the Zandvoort race in the Netherlands. Now, Zandvoort was first opened in 1948 and originally made up of a mixture of permanent track and public roads that snaked through the sand dunes of the Zandvoort resort town. F1 arrived at this venue in 1952 and it went on and off until 1985. In 2019, the announcement came that racing would return here in 2020 after a 35-year hiatus. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, that changed to a 36 years and a 2021 date. The Zandvoort track is an undulating one that swoops and flows through the sand dunes, creating a roller coaster-like feel to the lap. It remains a proper challenging driver's track, a circuit with a length of 4.259 kilometers, 14 corners with 2 straight mode zones, a distance of 306.587 kilometers, all spanning for 72 laps. So with summer still very much active, you can expect a whole lot as regards the hot temperature, most especially about the intense track temperatures and that of the air also. It's also a sprint weekend, meaning that drivers will make use of this opportunity to catch up with every viable point available for the weekend. And it also comes with just one practice session allowed from Friday down till Sunday. After the only practice session for the weekend on Friday, the drivers converge by 3:30 p.m. Nigerian time for the sprint qualifiers, which sets the grid up for what is to come on Saturday morning by 11 a.m. for the sprint race itself. So later on Saturday by 3 p.m., the drivers also converge for the race qualifiers, which would also set the grid for the grand race on Sunday by 2 p.m. So we're having another afternoon race this weekend. As it's the Dutch Grand Prix, it is a home race for one man, the 4-time champion of Formula One. I'm talking about this man right here, Max Verstappen. It's going to be a grand one for him as he would be racing for the last time in Zandvoort, spending the time we get to see the Dutch Grand Prix back in Formula One. And he'll be looking to do that for himself as the team are gearing up for a spectacular one for the Red Bull, as they've designed a new helmet for him alongside a new suit for himself and his teammate Isaac Hadjar, who is rumored not to be featuring this weekend due to a wrist injury. But prior to that, he had already been designed with a new helmet that had the last year's Dutch Grand Prix, where he had his trophy broken, where he took P3 in that race at this same circuit in 2025. And he had that same illustration of his broken trophy this time. His first time on the podium was at this same race last year. Isaac Hadjar is not going to be featuring this weekend due to a wrist injury that he suffered. And by that, the next step is what I'm really baffled and concerned about, as Liam Lawson from the Racing Bulls, that's the sister team of Red Bull, is set to replace Isaac Hadjar in the Red Bull. And to replace Liam Lawson is Red Bull's reserve driver, talking about Yuki Tsunoda. And that, caught me off guard a bit, because why is your reserve driver set to replace another driver in the sister team? Why not the parent team? And it has caught a whole lot of people off guard, and that are they prioritizing a Liam Lawson over their own reserve driver? I feel it's not respected at the team, and in my own words, I feel it's high time he start packing his bag and leave this time around, or move to a better team that would prioritize him right there, because he's been demoted over and over again from the Racing Bulls to the Red Bull and back to the Racing Bulls, and even for the new season he was demoted to be a reserve driver at that. Well, that's what I feel. What do you think about this development by Red Bull? Are you fine with it? I feel it's outrightly disrespectful from Red Bull as a team. Away from that, let's catch up with what the standing says after 11 races of the season. It is still Kimi Antonelli leading the pack with 219 points, a 50-point gap to second place Lewis Hamilton, and a 59 points gap to his own teammate George Russell in third position. As for the teams, Mercedes still lead that with 379 points. It is a 72 point gap to second placed Ferraris at this point in time. In other news, we hear that Alpine are set to bring in significant upgrades to their machines this weekend in a bid to catch up with the teams occupying the fifth position, all in the bid to finish mid-table this time around. The likes of Audi and the likes of Racing Bulls occupying such position. We hear that the upgrades are set to be concerned with their rear instability, their traction, and the mid-corner understeer. So let's see how that will fare with the Alpine this weekend. Do you think they can challenge the mid-table teams at this point in time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Still sticking with upgrades, this time for the Aston Martin, we hear that they are set to bring in an engine upgrade to their cars this weekend. Now, this is in a bid to have the car firing on all cylinders. Remember from the last race before the summer break, they had upgrades about 16 to parts of their car that didn't concern the chassis and the engine. But this time around, the engine is set to receive an upgrade to deliver about 35 horsepower. So let's see how that pans out for them. And remember that with the upgrades they had at the last race, that pushed them up in their position at the end of the race. They finished 13th and 14th, which was unusual of them all through the season. But this time with an engine upgrade, do you think that much more performance could be gotten from the Honda powered cars under the Aston Martin franchise? Let me know your thoughts concerning that. From car upgrades to team management, let's speak about the only American team in Formula One right now, and I'm talking about the Cadillac. So last week, they parted ways with their team principal. I'm talking about Graham Lowden, and he's been replaced with Marcin Budkowski, who formerly used to work with the Alpine. So let's see how that pans out. So if you see a new face in the Cadillac garage, that's their new principal, Marcin Budkowski. Lastly, on team news, let's talk about the Williams. Alex Albon, one of their drivers, is set to race with the Williams team next season. He signed a contract extension of a year to continue with the British side in 2027. All right, just to add, his teammate Carlos Sainz has also signed a multi-year extension with the Williams side. Congratulations to both drivers, Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz. So that'll be all from a preview of the Dutch Grand Prix. Let me know your thoughts concerning everything I've been able to speak so far. Who are your race winners? We've had 11 races so far, 5 winners in between all of these races. Are we set to have a new winner this weekend, or is it still going to be the regulars of these 5 names that we've been hearing and seeing so far this season, or possibly a DNF of a big gun like this man here? If you remember the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix, he gave us this iconic look after he crashed with Kimi Antonelli. At that, I'm speaking about Charles Leclerc. And I'll catch you after the race proper on Sunday, where we get to dissect everything we've been able to see from this weekend. Do well to have for yourself a great time. Cheers.